So it's Liam Neeson today. Congratulations, Liam Neeson. You're trending on Twitter. You got trending. You got 20. It's all just organic, though, of course. Nothing manipulated, nothing planned out with this, of course. And as you can see over here, the United States trends. You've got Liam Neeson at the top. Of course, Liam Neeson made these comments during an interview with the Independent. We're going to play through the comments that he made. And we're going to explain to people how mind control works. Now, the first thing that I want every human being that has the opportunity to listen to this, the first thing I want to say to them is never trust an actor. 1. 2. Actors are always acting. You might have difficulty with that concept, but you have to understand what type of people actors are. They tend to be sociopaths. They tend to be narcissists. They tend to be people, well, without the sort of moral compass that a lot of us seem to be on a different wavelength with, sort of thing. So, with that being said, let's get into, and I do think Liam Neeson's a really good actor, so it's nothing against his craft, but let's get into this and what he says and then explain to folks what's going on.
This is true. I'm not going to use any names, but I was away and I came back and she told me she had been raped, but she handled the situation of the rape in the most extraordinary way. But my immediate reaction was, I asked, did she know who it was? No. What colour were they? She said it was a black person. I went up and down areas with a cosh, hoping I'd be approached by somebody. I'm ashamed to say that. And I did it for maybe a week, hoping some black bastard would come out of a pub and have a go at me about something, you know, so that I could kill him. And it took me a week, maybe a week and a half to kind of go for that. And she said to me, where are you going? I said, I'm just going out for a walk, you know. She said, what's wrong? No, nothing's wrong, fine. And it was horrible when I think back that I did that. And I've never admitted that to her. I'm saying it to a journalist.
I guess it's a good time now.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Holy shit.
It's awful.
Yeah.
But I did learn a lesson from it when I eventually thought, what the fuck are you doing, you know?
Yeah. That makes sense.
And I come from a society, I grew up in Northern Ireland in the Troubles, and I knew a couple of guys that died on hunger strike, and I had acquaintances that were very caught up in the Troubles. And I understand that need for revenge, but it just leads to more revenge and more killing and more killing. And, you know, Northern Ireland's proof of that, you know. All the stuff that's happening in the world at the minute, the violence is proof of that, you know. So it's, but that, yeah, primal need, I understand, you know.
Relate to that.
Thanks, Independent Co. UK. Independent. What a funny name. Well, I guess if the Eagle brings here, that would be, actually, I would subscribe. I would actually get a subscription if there was like a newspaper that was delivered by Eagle, even if it was a total fucking shitwad like the Grope and Fail. Just to get the Eagle bringing me the newspaper every morning would be worth it. Anyways, yeah, so he walked around the streets with a kosh, hoping that he'd be approached. What the fuck is a kosh? I gotta figure this out here. Let's look it up, guys. Let's find it. Kosh. Kosh, a heavy stick. All right, there we go. I figured it was something like that. So he walked around. So Liam Neeson's an actor. You know, he plays a lot of revenge movies. Doesn't he do that a lot? Isn't he always like he's a big guy and he's getting revenge on people? Isn't that Isn't that something that Liam Neeson tends to play in his movies? I don't know. People are dumb though, that's for sure. So that much we can definitely know. So as you see, it's economic factors taking the spring out of the Easter Bunny, and 2 hours, 11 hours. Well, let's just take a look here. 3 hours ago, 1 hour ago, 7 hours ago, 7 hours, 6, 6, 11, 10, 6. All these Irish Times, The Advocate, USA Today, The Independent, CNN, of course, Telegraph, In Depth, Guardian, Wall Street Journal. Well, it's all the same. It's all the same. That's all it is. They control all your media, and they program you. So whatever you're reacting to, it's whatever they've concocted. And what better way? I mean, I don't know if he's won Academy Awards, but you probably have to say Liam Neeson, Academy Award winning Liam Neeson, given a Academy Award performance, talking about how he walked up and down the streets for a week from some girl that he knew that somehow, I don't know, was he dating her? Doesn't really make it clear, but he seems to be around her a lot because he's telling the story like, I'm just going out for a walk. So like, you're living together? What is this story? But we're led to believe that he went around because some girl was raped by some black guys, and he went around with a stick, and he wanted to just kill people. Now, since he plays that character a lot, it's a little bit more convincing for really stupid people to buy into the story, because they think of Liam Neeson. Probably if they think of Liam Neeson, they think, wow, he's the guy, he's always getting revenge. He's a big guy. He's kind of scary, and tough. Huge alpha male guy. And here he is, your alpha male with his toxic masculinity. You really can't make this shit up. So we got our alpha male, Liam Neeson. He's clearly been established over and over again in his movies as an alpha male. And here he is talking about how he was going to go around and bash people's skulls open, innocent people, just because he wanted to get revenge. Toxic masculinity. And there was a specific group of people he was looking for. He wasn't looking for Arabs. He wasn't looking for Chinese. He was actually looking for black people to go and smash. I find that interesting. What's the date today? Oh, it's February the 4th, by the way. That is interesting. Do you think there's any connection? Do you think there's anything that's going on right now that may tie into this story? Well, we could try something. We could put Black, I don't know, History Month. Yeah, maybe that one. 8 hours ago, 5 hours ago, 6 hours ago, 3 hours ago. Meet the man who created Black History Month. Interesting. Isn't that interesting? Don't you think that this little psyop with Liam Neeson, the guy that's always playing the alpha male, who's always overly physical, and that's when I think of Liam Neeson. I think of him cracking people's skulls and stuff. He's like a big tough guy, and it just happens to be Black History Month. Well, this is how they program you. This is what they do all the time. That's why when you're watching the television shows or you're watching the Super Bowl commercials and there are all these tiny little girls that are in these movies that are going to beat the living shit and beat the living tar out of all these big men. You notice that? All over your Super Bowl commercials. All these Marvel girls, these Wonder Womens that are coming forth. And they're all going to battle angels. They're all gonna beat up the men. Isn't that interesting how that works? It's all part of how they control us, and that's why you can never trust actors. The mistake that we make always when we're the first mistake that we make is we put on their devices and we subject ourselves to their programming. That's the first mistake that we make. The second mistake that we make is that I'm saying in people in general, I'm not saying myself, and I'm not saying the people that watch this, is they do not apply critical thought to what is being presented to them. Now, critical thought would lead me to believe that an actor would be the most dubious of people. Like, I would never, ever, ever, ever trust an actor, especially an A-list actor, especially Academy Award-winning actors. Now, I'm assuming Liam has won an Academy Award at some point or has been nominated. And he's a big-time A-lister actor. You don't get there without making the deal. These actors are always acting. I'm not saying your local actors are always acting, but I'm saying actors are always acting, and actors are always playing other people. So it's the most natural thing in the world for actors to play other people. So they're not exactly the best people to be around, the most trustworthy, because they can play you and they know how to. That's why they're just really good at manipulating people. So a lot of actors go through lives playing multiple characters in their real lives as well. When we place our trust in an actor, it's because we appreciate the work that they do, and we can relate to some of their characters. But that is a mistake, because you have to separate and you not even separate, because the movies are mostly propaganda. They're there to program you. Nothing gets green lit from the big studios that isn't part of what they're trying to achieve, and you can see it chalk all over the place. The fall of the patriarchy, right? The rise of the tiny little women, right? The end of the white male, how the white male needs to be wiped out. All this propaganda that's everywhere. It's all over the place. And it's how they control us. And this is their methodology, using A-list actors who are people think of in a certain way. That's when you think of a certain actor, right? You think of Charles Bronson, right? For instance, you're not thinking of a scrawny little guy. You're thinking of a tough guy, right? Well, that's how you would think of Liam Neeson. You'd think of him as an alpha, even if it's subconsciously. And so subconsciously, here you have this alpha white male who was using his male angst, his toxic masculinity, to go out and exact revenge on innocent people. And how this will be spinned, of course, it's spinned back and forth. You're going to have your jokers on one side, right? And then you're going to have your jokers on the other side. And they're going to control the whole thing. This just feeds into everything. Like the almost everything is a meme these days, right? This is how they are able to program people. And so you have one side that'll come out and say things like, oh, it's just disgusting, this guy, what a creep, and oh my gosh. And then you'll have other people coming out, well, he's admitting that what he did was wrong, and you're missing the point of what he's trying to say. And that's how they play us. And either way, the message gets across that this type of masculinity is unacceptable. That black people, innocent black people, are being targeted by white people, white male aggression. That white males are dangerous, white heterosexual males. Because that's also another thing that you would think of Liam Neeson as a heterosexual type character. He's a leading man, right? He's a big alpha male. This is exactly how they do it.